Here's integrated 3. It's problem 2-123. It says solve each equation, check your solutions if possible. And we have a letter A and letter B. So for letter A, we're supposed to solve for x. So we want to get this, we can square both sides, but we cannot square both sides until we get the square root all by itself. So the mistake I saw on some of your papers was that you squared over here without getting rid of the 6, and that won't work. Because, well, I won't even tell you why it won't work. It won't work, though. You'll get a different answer. You'll see. So let's do this. Okay, I isolated the square root. Now I can square both sides. It's important that you do it in the right order. So now I got 36. And then this is and I'll add 6. And then divide by 3. 14. Okay. Yeah, if I were to square both sides before getting rid of the 6, I would have to go this thing squared. It would be like squaring a binomial. There would be a middle term. I'd have to square this, and then I'd have to go this first term plus the second term times 2, and then I'd have to square the second term. So you can't just say that this is, when you square this left-hand side, you can't say that it's just 3x minus 6 plus 36. That won't work. Because that would be the same as saying if I had x plus 2 squared, that would be just like saying, well, that's x squared plus 4. And we know that's not x squared plus 4. That's x plus 2 times x plus 2. We know that that's x squared plus 4x plus 4. Like what happens right here, if you don't get rid of that 6 before you square both sides, you're going to have what we call a binomial. It's like something plus something else, like 2 things. That's what bi means. Bi is 2. You'll be squaring this binomial. And so you can square both sides, but you'll have to do something like this with an area model box, and then you'll get a big long outcome that is actually worse than what you started with. So that's why you need to get rid of the 6 first. So that was the mistake that I saw that people made. But so just make sure you get the root all by itself before you try to square both sides. Okay, so you're supposed to plug it back in to make sure it works. So 3 times 14 is actually 42, I think. And 42 minus 6 is 36. And a square root of 36 is 6. And 6 plus 6 is 12. So we know this one works. So we're going to say yes, that worked. Okay, letter B. We are supposed to use we're just supposed to solve it. So we don't know what we're going to do yet, but let's get it in standard form. I have to add the 10x to both sides and add the 11. I don't see any greatest common factor. I could try to factor this by trying to figure out, let's see, 11 times 11, 121. I could try to find something that multiplies to make 121 and adds to make 10. Like I know 11 times 11, but those will never add to make 10. I don't think I'm going to find anything. I don't think this is factorable. So I'm just going to go ahead and get out my quadratic formula. So I know that A equals 11, B equals 10, and C equals 11. And I know the quadratic formula goes negative B plus or minus square root B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. So I'll just write that up there so I can look at it. So I said B was negative 10, or no, 10, so I'm going to write negative 10. B squared, that's going to be 100, minus 4 times A times C. A is 11, and C is 11. So 4 times, if only I had a calculator, what's 4 times 121? 4 times 484. All over 2 times A, and A was 11. Negative 10, plus or minus 100, minus, we found out that 4 times 11 times 11 was 484, all over 22. I guess that would be 384, or negative 384. I'm running out of room. Okay, so 384, something probably goes into it, like some perfect square probably goes into it. I'm going to try, I think I'm going to try seeing if like 16 goes into it. I want to try kind of a big number. Yes, so 16 times 24. So I'm going to just break this thing down. I'm simplifying my radical. So if 16 times 24 makes 384, and by the way, I have to put I out here because of that negative sign. 16 times 24, so the square root of 16 is 4. I hope that you know how to simplify radicals. I'm kind of showing you the process. My calculator knows how to simplify it, but I think you should know how to do it by hand. So 24, I want to see if I can simplify it even more. Like, I know that 4 times 6 is 24. If 4 times 6 is 24, the square root of 4 is 2. So I'm going to actually take a 2 out and multiply it by that 4, and that's where my 8 comes from. And then there'll be a 6 stuck inside here still. And I've got my 22 down here. And now I'm just going to divide all these by 2. What I'm really doing is factoring a 2 out of the numerator and the denominator and canceling it, but I show it kind of like I'm just dividing each one by 2. 4, 11. So this will be negative 5 plus or minus. Okay. So if you left your answer and it looked a little like this, or like, well, you'd have to take the I out. I'd probably still give you credit for it, but this was the focus problem. So I would hope that you guys know how to do this.